All right, y'all, here's the final conclusion of the great debate, pros versus casuals on NBA 2K24. There's a lot of casuals out there who feel like they're better than pro players. And these are players who primarily play in the rec center. Let me ask you guys something. The best rec player, do you guys think the best rec player can actually be transitioned into the pro or comp scene? I personally believe everything is possible as long as you got the patience, time, and aptitude for 2K. By the end of this video, a lot of you guys should have a better and clearer understanding on how the 2K League develops and chooses who's going to be a pro player. One of the first tweets that I feel is really important to address is this tweet that Splash ended up responding to. Draco sent out this tweet saying, "Ask Splash Edition, what does it take to leap from casual to comp player?" Try to pay close attention here, y'all. Splash responded saying, number one, that is not a leap anyone should want to make. It kills the fun of the game. I don't even load up 2K anymore if I'm not playing for money. This is where the idea came from that comp players are miserable playing 2K. Number two, you just have to get comp reps, join tournaments, leagues, or play comp players. Once you get used to that, you enter the realm I call mini comp. Number three, he says it's levels past comp. Like I'm levels above regular comp players, I'm an elitist, but you don't get there in just 1 year. The reason why I personally like this post from Splash is because he kind of humbles everybody's thought process on the idea of going from a rec player to a pro 2K League player. Splash being a player who's won multiple tournaments in all different game modes. I would like to reference this next post from Girl Gone Wild. Said the pro versus rec banter is hilarious. I'm convinced the 2K community has nothing else to talk about. I won't lie though, rec, Pro-Am, and that special league court all have different gameplay feels, from shooting and dribbling to lane defense. The pros will have to come to rec because if the rec warriors go to Pro-Am, they have a lower chance of winning. What I thought was most interesting is the way in which Girl Gone Wild ended this post by saying, "I'm comp to casuals and casual to comp." And the reason why I felt that was so interesting is because that's a reality that a lot of players just don't seem to understand. You may very well be dominating in the rec center and everything in front of you is food, covering the first statement, "I'm comp to casuals." But when you primarily play in a casual setting and you attempt to take that skill base to another level, the comp scene may see you as food. You may very well be a casual to comp players. I wish more people understood that. Their ego just doesn't let them see it. The fact is, this is a video game. You shouldn't be ashamed to be a casual or a comp player. The only difference between the two players is that one player invests way more time on 2K than the other. Power DF ended up weighing in on this, saying half the 2K arguments are because nobody in this community can understand nuance. Not everything is black and white, some things are gray. Are some people outside the 2K League better than league players? Yeah, there's always an exception. Are league players better than 99.99% of the people not in the league? Yes, most players could not compete with 2K League players. What are we arguing about? And the good homie Badge Plug weighed in on this as well, saying the regular rec player is not competing with 2K League guys. How did we get this far? There's a small percent of people who, if they dedicated their time to it, could possibly make it, yes, but that's maybe a few hundred. For some reason, people think rec and the top levels of competitive Pro-Am are similar, and that's probably because it's a 5v5 type of game mode. Badge Plug goes on to say, but I promise you it isn't. I'm telling you, ask anyone you think is really good at 2K, what's more impressive, dropping 30 on a 2K League team or 100 in the rec, and they'll say 2K League, meaning if you drop 30 against a 2K League team, it's much more of a substantial accolade than it is to drop 100 in the rec center. Badge Plug ends this by saying it's literally not even the same game. The good homie Joe Knows has been disrupting the comp scene, and a lot of people in the 2K community are wondering if Joe Knows has what it takes to be a 2K League player. If you guys don't know, Joe runs a LeBron type of build, and from what I understand, he mainly rim runs against comp. Questions about whether or not Joe Knows' build and playstyle would even hold up in the 2K League has come about, and Joe Knows went on the ultimate rant. Before I show you guys a clip on Joe Knows ranting about his player build versus 2K League player builds, I would like to reference this next post from Dynasty. Dynasty says, at Joe Knows is equivalent to an elevated rec random. He can never be anyone remotely close to the NBA 2K League. There's a reason why he's not in it, man. Igamo ended up responding as well, saying Joe just edits out his losses on YouTube so he looks good. Ever notice how his streams aren't live either? They're all pre-recorded wins, and that Joe Knows just view bots to get to the top of the category. Obviously some friendly banter and trash talk going on here. Joe Knows ended up responding saying, bro, you two are bored as F, with a bunch of crying face emojis. And Joe Knows ends up going on a wild rant as the 2K community attempts to discredit his build in regards to how that playstyle would perform in the 2K League. Let's load up that clip.
Like, y'all are talking about the fact that my build is not going to be in league build. Neither is a 6'6" shooting guard with 80 to 90 standing dunk. Neither is a lockdown with 90 perimeter, 99 steal, 85 speed, 95 strength, 90 standing dunk. Like, come on! I'm playing against this lockdown, foaming out the mouth. His pupils are dilated. He's locked in. I gotta be locked in too. Take this dunk meter, boy. Damn. You know what I'm saying? Why the do I have to water my build down when these lockdowns don't? Yo, listen. If I'm running point guard and I stand here for 2 seconds, the motherfucker's right stick ripper in my I'm running like this, trying not to get plugged. But I gotta water my build down? Like, goddamn realistic. The are we talking about? What the are we talking about? These bro, they're making 300-pound lockdown builds like this. Right stick and rippering. What the But that's gonna be in the league build? Oh, that's in league build. My bad, brother. Like, come on.
Now, Joe Knows he made some really good points in my opinion. And if you guys don't know, the 2K League has restrictions on the builds that are allowed to play. As you guys heard, Joe Knows' biggest complaint is, yeah, he's running the one and he's going crazy on the comp scene, but the 2K community attempts to adapt to his playstyle and bring out the right builds to actually face against him. And these same builds that players are making to compete against Joe Knows wouldn't be in the league either, as those builds would be restricted as well. So how do we measure whether or not a player is good enough to be in the league? As players who play on the retail version of 2K, they aren't even able to experience the player builds that are restricted in 2K League gameplay. And for this, I would like to reference a post from Champ2K, someone who claims he is scouted for the 2K League. And this should help us all get a better understanding of how the 2K League operates and give us a much more grounded perspective on the great pros versus casual debate. Let's load up that clip.
What's good, guys? My name is Champ2K. I've been an analyst and a scout around the NBA 2K League for about 6 years. I want to talk about the Joe Knows situation versus professional players. I want to start off by saying I think that Joe Knows could compete in the NBA 2K League and be good. He's doing exactly what every professional player has done to get into the league, competing in the amateur scene, playing well, and winning. I think that the conversation with league build, obviously some people are like, oh, well, league build is hard or whatever, but that's also not fair to any amateur player that doesn't have access to that. I think any good player given time, guy like Joe Knows, I think could eventually adjust and be good in the league. I think he'd be in like that bottom 15 percentile of players in the league. I think that he could compete. But with that being said, I think that there's a major issue that we need to get the league built in the game to bridge that gap so we can have that conversation whether or not do we have all the best players in the league. I also think a major issue over the years that I've seen from scouting is there's a lot of relationship picks in the NBA 2K League. I think relationships are important. I mean, that's the way of the world. We see it across professional sports. But also, we need to stop looking at just their relationship, and we need to look at their skill more. I don't think enough coaches and GMs do that. I think that issue also lies with the sample that they have to scout players. All they have is the amateur scene, which is, leagues like UPA, WR, HOF, MPBA in the past. I think until the NBA 2K League 1 can get their version of the game into 2K, and also they can create an amateur scene that's on the platform itself and not on a small niche community on Twitter, because that's the problem, is a professional scene lives on Twitter. Until we can pull them away from that and get into the game itself, we do not know if we all have all the best professional players. We haven't even reached overseas. There's not that many international players in the league, so we can't say we have all the best players in the world if we haven't even reached overseas yet. With that being said, I think that now with the NBA 2K League doing an in-person combine, I think that benefits a lot. I think that the 2K League eventually getting the league build in the game will help a lot. I also think that we have to have more tournaments in the game itself to prove this. You know, it has to be ran by the NBA 2K League and not just the amateur scene.
As you guys heard, Champ 2K pretty much laid it all on the table. 2K League players, they are not the best in the world because 2K hasn't even tapped into the world to see who's the best. 2K hasn't even developed a platform where the world could come participate and compete to see who's best. So I say if you're great at the rec, if you're great in Pro-Am, or you're great in 2K League, y'all just go ahead and continue to be great. Don't let nobody take your shine. I will be going live a little later on today to talk some more about this stuff. Hopefully y'all can tune in. Y'all be sure to keep it locked. If you guys are tired of running with randoms and you're looking for players to run with on NBA 2K, come on out and join our Discord. We'd love to have you. The link for Discord will be in the description below. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, and y'all be sure to keep it locked right here at AllCity Live TV because we got a bunch more NBA 2K24 news, information, and updates coming your way. Drop a like and drop a sub on your way out. I'll catch you guys on the next video or live stream. Easy, y'all.